Listening to BearatNight podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.
Someone try to scare her or something, she just be like so hood with it. Like she don't like nothing to bother her.
You ain't scaring her.
No, she just like I try to run over, like get her behind the car, like oh motherfucker. She just like really.
She's too used to it.
Really?
At Brian, they do that a lot too.
Yeah, she don't nothing.
They be coming out here barking like, rah, rah, rah. Everyone punches me, so I'm just so used to it. Like,
I think you make it easy, but then people give up because I give up after I do it, and it's like your face expression is just like, damn, this is not worth it. Never mind. But if I do it to you, I'll probably get you. Like anybody else, like no, not Mocha. It'd be Mocha and what's her name? I can't even think of the other chick name. She was working last night. Siren.
Yeah, she's fun.
Siren just blew smoke at me one time when I tried to scare her. She was like, "Oh, I'm scared."
You ain't scared her.
I was like, "Damn, y'all new breed." I'm like, can't get none of y'all. Damn. But okay, so we are here. This is the BearatNight podcast, and we got a little bit of a show because I might as well start it since we've been talking so far. I got here on the BearatNight podcast. I'm your host, Jurassic Parker, all that. The guy over there, him. That's me. That's the guy. That's it. I got here KORA on the show, and you can't see her, so you might hear her. You might. Mocha is in the background. So if you hear somebody else in the background, third voice, that's her. You're just not gonna see her, even though nothing looks bad over here in my vision. It's just, she's fine. But but a lot of y'all know I've talked about this here and there about my other job. I don't talk about my main job because you got to pay the bills. But the job that I do talk about a few times over the course of this show is my time in the strip club. Me as a floor host or a bouncer, however you want to call it, that I still do. And I've decided so long ago to have some people talk about that life other than me that knows about it very well, that can give shine to it, that will give new light, little insight to the whole lifestyle. Because I get a lot of time people always say, how can you work there, or why do you work there, or what is it like? There's a lot of questions that involves working in a strip club, and I figured there's no better way to get that out there is why not talk to the dancers themselves, because I could talk about the strip club life, I could get a bunch of bouncers here, all that, but it's way better and it looks better to hear it from the dancers, because they got way better stories than I will. So I had Sully a while back, beginning of the show. Now I have KORA and a little bit of mocha. That sounds like a coffee. Give me KORA, a little bit of KORA and a little bit of mocha with it. Ice.
Shots of mocha in there?
Yeah, the shots of mocha. That's what we're gonna have a little bit today, here and there. I'm pretty sure. A little bit of shots of mocha here and there chiming in. But we got KORA to the show.
Hi.
So say hi, KORA. Y'all say hi to KORA. Thank you for joining.
No problem. Happy to be here.
I wasn't sure if you was on my show.
I'm here though.
I mean, we're here. I was like, I don't know. Then I pushed it back. You pushed it back. But we got it. We got here. But so it's first off, is KORA your real name?
KORA is my stage name, but it is also my nickname. And I guess my biggest pet peeve is actually telling people, oh, my name's KORA, and they're like, oh, let me get your real name. I'm like, it's actually my nickname. Outside of here, in here, I didn't really try too hard when I first came, and they were like, what do you want your name to be? And I was like, well, everyone calls me KORA, so why not
Yeah,
So why
keep
not
it in
KORA?
that. And plus, it makes it easy for you to like answer to, like,
Yeah,
you
people,
know,
like if they're just calling me like, for example, like glitter, and I'm like,
yeah.
who the hell is that?
Because you had a, I have seen it plenty of times where you actually, you know, a girl they give a girl their name, and you can call them over and over, and they won't answer. They forget.
Yeah, they'll forget that's their name.
So
and
it's
stuff.
probably good to have somewhere close to your actual name. So
The only thing that's bad is that it is so close to my name, but I feel like
No.
my actual name is pretty hard to guess. So there's that.
So when I first met you, I thought you came with KORA because I never knew anybody named KORA.
Yeah,
Spelt
I still
the way.
haven't met anyone like dancer wise that does have that name.
You're the first KORA ever I met, and the only KORA I know of was Avatar KORA.
Yeah, and that's
So-
what I tell people it's from, like Legends of KORA.
That's what I
You
thought it
watch
was from.
Avatar.
That's you like Avatar.
I do like Avatar, and then it just so happens to be my nickname too. So it's like I get the best of both worlds.
So I was like, yeah, that's how I figured. That's how I was like, oh yeah, she definitely an Avatar fan. You know, ain't like people walk around calling themselves Aang and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, so how long have you been a dancer?
I've been a dancer now for a little over a year. In December 1st, I made a year completely, and it's what, March or April 1st.
It goes by fast.
So it's been a year and 4 months now, or a year and 3 months,
Dang. I don't know.
somewhere around there.
Somewhere. Yeah. I think did I work with you your first day? Maybe.
I don't know. I think I met you somewhere in like between.
In between, because I
When
worked
did you start working?
eons ago. Eons
Back in
were
my day.
in my day, we 2 inches of snow. I just saw my resume the other day because I was sitting there somewhere else, and it said 2017, but I could have sworn it was 2016 when I started.
Oh, so you've been there for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
I could have sworn it was 2016, somewhere in there when I started, but
So I might have met you when I first started. I'm not sure.
I left in 2019. I tried to do the real world,
Yeah.
and the real world sucked.
The real world does suck.
It does.
It does.
Because I was used to paying paying groceries and everything with my tip money, and then you took it away, and it's just a regular check. It was hard. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. It sucked. But after a year with COVID hit, as soon as I did the break, like in March. So yeah, I came back in 2019. No, 2019. No, I left in 2019. Came back in 2022. Yeah, 21. One of them. I just got bored.
Yeah.
I was just working a regular job and I just got bored coming home and
sucks.
working.
You spend all your time there, you're exhausted, and you're not making that much money.
Yeah.
It's a cold world.
So I just, I been back. So it feels like I never left though. But
Yeah, I mean, it's same old, I feel like. Even though I've been there like for just a year, there's some girls I've been there for like 10, 15.
see,
Whatever. I
this
feel like I go crazy after that.
that's the thing. I always ask dancers how long you trying to be working
Yeah.
at a strip club because I've seen them like
I feel like everyone
lifers.
comes with a plan, but
Yeah.
it's so easy to get stuck. And like a lot of people try to talk about it, but I feel like people don't take it serious. They're like, I won't get stuck, da da da. And I mean, I even say
Yeah.
that for myself, like I won't get stuck, but who knows? Maybe I will. I hope not.
You never know.
Yeah, you just never know. So you should come in with a plan. You should definitely be like about your money up front. I think the thing that gets a lot of people stuck is the fact that they don't really pay attention to their money. So then they don't end up having like anything saved or any plans. They don't invest in anything. So it's just like, oh, I've been dancing for so long, and then you try to go to a regular job, and they're like,
Yeah.
what were you doing for whatever years? And now you're just fucked. Like,
Yeah, I've seen girls get caught up too in life because it's fast money, and then they be fast people,
yeah.
and then they get caught up, and some end well, some don't. I've
Yeah.
seen bad and good, some tragic. I've seen both sides of it, and it's just all about your mindset. And like you say, if you have a plan, okay, I'm gonna be here for a certain amount of time, make my money, and then leave. You good? Like,
Especially, it's just a tough environment. Like there's so many temptations up in there. Like some girls get into drugs, turn into alcoholics.
yeah,
All different types of things, and then like it's a hard job to do sober, definitely. But
it's
I
a
think
definitely
the best way
toxic.
to do it.
It's definitely a toxic
It's a
life.
bad environment. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. It's not a good environment at all. There's a lot of energy going in there. Most of the people coming there are insecure and stuff, like whether it be the
Yeah.
girls or the customers going in there. So it's just like you're dealing with a lot of different energies. And it's like everyone at the end of the day is there to have a good time. But with that environment, like the good time people are having is very like negative energy.
Now following that, like what made you want to be a dancer?
So honestly, I did the same thing as you, where I was just like working so much. I was working at a hair store for about like 3 years, and it was one of my favorite jobs, but it was a small business, so they couldn't really afford to like give me any raises or anything. So I was like basically a fucking manager, but still getting paid like the same as like all the other workers. I was just doing that extra stuff for no reason. And then I worked at Walmart for during like in between the 3 years I was also there, and Walmart. So I was at Walmart for like 2 years. I liked it there. It was good money to start off with, like but it just wasn't enough. Like it wasn't enough to do anything. I got like my first car with that job, so I was happy about doing that. But it was like a really shitty car. I think I paid like $600 for it. Like, and $600, like I'm talking about, this was like 3 or 4 years ago. So that was like a shitty ass car.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I worked at Amazon for like a month.
Oh, you did do Amazon?
Yeah, I did do Amazon, and I was working 60 hours. 60 hours, 10 hours a day. No time for anything. And I was making money, but I just couldn't do anything with it because it was still only like, I want to say like $600 a week.
Okay.
So that's not even.
Is that after taxes?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like $600 a week. Not that bad for like at the time with the economy that's going on and stuff.
Well, yeah, at the time, at that time.
Yeah, I did that for a month. The job was like really strenuous. Like it's definitely a man's job, like I would say. Like unless you're like a tall, big woman, like you definitely do it. But I'm like 5'2", and everything was like really fucking high. So I was like, oh my god. I did that for a month. After that, I was like, I think I saw this one TikTok, and it was just this girl, and she was like thousands of dollars for like money, just showing her money and stuff. And those were probably like all her good nights, because after I got into the job, then I realized there's a lot of bad nights too.
Yeah. They don't ever show you the bad nights.
Yeah, that's the one thing I will say about like the industry is like there's a lot of girls that are starting to do it now, but back then I feel like when I started, there wasn't too many girls that would actually tell you the truth. They would just be like, oh yeah, you can make a lot of money. This is how you make a lot of money. And you could have all those skills but still not make money. And I think that's the hardest thing to like come to closure with. Like it's not really us. It's just like sometimes you're gonna have a bad day, and if that bad day means $0, then it means $0, and you can't do nothing about that.
True. I seen it where like I remember at the time I guess it was taboo to let people know that you were a dancer. And like even to post it online to show that you are or whatever was like crazy. You want to hide it.
Yeah, I feel like everything now is just like
everything's out there. But
wigs, makeup, all that stuff.
But even so, like even they go say, "Oh yeah, I'm a dancer," but they only gonna show you the good stuff. Yeah, they always is showing the good stuff, and I'm like, this is how people started.
Like now it's taboo to be a dancer and then admit that you don't make money sometimes, because then it's like, what are you a dancer for?
But it's not always the dancer. It's just. Like
sometimes it's a bad day. I mean, who's really coming to spend a rack on Wednesday? And
and we also the economy too. Always, like I always say, like I used to get tipped like a good amount of money every week I was working. Yeah, and just rely on that all the time. Never had to touch my check at all. But now that I came back and how the economy is now, nobody gives out no extra tips no more.
Yeah, and I mean, the first thing I feel like people start to take out of their lives, like people with money or even people without money to that go, is just the strip club, because it's like it's not a necessity at all. It's just for fun, and it's still gonna be alive even in like, I feel like even if we were going through a Great Depression, there would still be people going to strip club trying to see something.
Yeah, but, I mean they were, even when they had like the glass over the stage, the COVID stage and stuff. I remember working back the first night, trying to work back. I only lasted like 2 days and I left. Yeah. Because like, Steve, I can't do this. They was like putting their hands under.
Really?
They were trying to put their hands up. No, they're trying to touch.
Oh my god.
And mind you, I still gotta have to put the mask on, and the music's loud, and you gotta keep the mask on, and they can't hear me. I'm like, stop trying to touch. Oh god, I think I got it. Like you don't know.
And then there's so many different people coming in. People don't care if they're sick or whatever over there. It's like, oh my gosh. Were you guys like giving people like temperature readings as they walk?
Every time they came in, temperature reading, a little dab of sanitizer on the hand, or whatever. Like I was so freaked about the whole thing. I had gloves on.
That must have been crazy.
Yeah.
Every single club I've been to, and I feel like every club in general is just a really dirty place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like to even do that, they was probably like,
Because we didn't want to get shut down. Plus, they serve food on that side, on the bar side.
Yeah.
So they were like trying to be extra precautious with everything. So management was on like duty, like, oh, we need more of this, we need more of that, whatever, cool. But as soon as that stuff got all set up and done, nobody cared after that. Like,
oh, gotcha. They were just going with it.
Yeah, like, all right, we're good. We did everything we should.
See what we need to see.
Yeah, but we get me because dudes, there'd be a whole thing here. Dudes still trying to put the hand, try to touch a leg,
that's like devious.
but they would still they didn't care. They didn't care. What did your family? Did you tell your family right away?
My family does know, but I didn't tell them.
Oh, how long did it take?
It took 2 months.
How did you do it? Like, was it Christmas? And you say, hey, look at all this extra presents.
No. It wasn't anything like that. I was dumb with it at first. I wasn't really like scared to really post about it because we're like, I'm from a town where like most people don't really have a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you are doing what I'm doing, it's like no one's gonna judge you because where I'm from, like most people are like drug dealers and stuff.
Right.
Like, they have regular jobs, but they're getting their real money from doing stuff they're not supposed to do. So I didn't really think anyone could judge me because at the time my family, like, they've all gone through crazy stuff and done their own thing. So I was like, ain't nobody gonna judge me. So I posted this TikTok and I was talking about how I was gonna use the money to like pay for my college tuition, like, and I thought that would blow up. And it did a little bit. My aunt saw it and she was like, do you know what your daughter's doing?
Oh.
And my mom was like, oh. She wasn't upset about it. I think she was more upset at herself than me. She's like, I understand what you're doing, but I feel like I failed.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, girl.
Like, I wasn't a good parent.
If you do want to get into it, kind of is like, I will put some blame on my mom. Not obviously I made my own decision and all that, but if the situation was a little bit different, I probably would have just been living with her and like
what you mean, like the financial wise?
Not financial. I did move out when I was like really young, so I guess if I wasn't like put in that position, then I might have not been where I am now.
I feel that when you're like when you're on your own, you tend to start trying to fix.
Yeah, you gotta
do whatever you got to do just to like survive and make more, make what you got to make to pay bills and stuff. So,
and I'm an only child and stuff, so it's really just me and then my mom that I live with for most of my life. I didn't really have a dad. Like, I know who he is and all that stuff, but I was never really that close to him. And my stepdad was there too, but he had his own daughter, so it was just like just me and her, and then she had her own issues, so it was just really just me. And I guess being that young, like, I was just like, I need to do what I need to do to make this money, or try to. And that's what really got me into it. After I seen that TikTok and all that, I decided to. There's actually this app called the Dancers Resource.
Okay.
And that's where they have like a bunch of clubs. It's like Yelp.
Oh, okay.
Where they like review the clubs, but it's actual girls reviewing it, not like the bouncers or
that's
the
okay.
management. So it's better than going like on Google and looking the place up, because you'll just see a bunch of customers.
But you actually get with the girls saying,
yeah, you'll get like the girls' feedback, and like they'll tell you what's really going on in the club, like what you have to do and like stuff that's loud or whatever. And that's how I learned about Mings. And that's what made me want to go in there. And I went in there by myself, no prior training, no pole dancing classes, nothing.
Oh, wow.
I went in there with some lingerie that I would have looked so stupid, and I was so lucky that this dude was there selling the clothes and the heels.
Oh yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, Tyson, yeah.
Yeah, he was in there like that first day, like, and I bought stuff off of him like as soon as I walked in there, and all I did was go up to the management. They saw me. They're like, "Yeah, you're good." I didn't have any tattoos at the time or anything.
Yeah, they're big on that.
And they were like, "Hell yeah, you can work here."
So how was it to just like, because I've had girls come up to the first time, they were like, "Yo, I'm gonna be a dancer." I'm like, okay, are you okay with showing your vagina?
Yeah.
Like they'd be like, no. I'm like, I don't know if this gonna work.
I don't know what you're gonna
because if you don't know how to work, if you can't work both sides, you're not gonna get very much money.
I think
you know,
to do it, you gotta be like so comfortable with your body and like honestly be prepared for anything. Not that specific things should be happening or you should let it happen to you.
Yeah.
But you gotta be like understanding that this is that type of environment where something crazy could happen. So you just gotta be like really comfortable with yourself and all that.
Yeah, because
I feel like that includes like taking your underwear off if you have to.
I feel like if you're gonna work just the top of the side, that's fine. But I feel like you gotta
If
definitely
you
know how
want
to
to make
talk.
the money though,
Yeah.
like,
But you gotta be full. I feel like you gotta be well rounded on every base.
right?
Know
They
how to
gotta have that
talk, be able to be
personality.
comfortable with your skin, the whole nine. But
Yeah,
I have come across some girls that says either they can't talk, so they rely more on their body,
yeah,
and or vice versa. So it's like you never know. But if you're comfortable, especially if you're there, just showing any parts, and just being in the tank top and like the bottoms, all that stuff.
yeah.
If you're comfortable, okay, you might have a chance. But I'd be like hoping, like, damn, I hope the best, because
The
I've
thing
seen
is,
goes
too,
either way. So
there is like girls that are comfortable taking their underwear off, but they know themselves so much that they don't have to, and like their personality and like the way they talk is like even better than them taking that off.
yeah,
And they don't, and they'll make like money and they'll go on the after dark side or whatever and just not take anything off
you're right.
because they could talk.
And also, I say there's a lot of girls too. You got to be able to like hear criticism that you don't want to hear
Definitely, 'cause
from
not everyone
customers,
is gonna like you.
all that.
The
Like,
girls will tell you or try to tell you some stuff. It's like it's a crazy environment. You definitely got to be like, when I was doing my research a little bit before I came in, like the one thing I kept seeing like on these videos and stuff was like, you got to be confident.
yeah,
Like you're gonna get completely broken down if you are not confident going in there.
yeah,
And I feel like a lot of girls do go in there like that, and unfortunately that's like they just get torn down. They turn like to a whole different person because they let all this stuff get to them. But
and they drink over it.
it's like a really hard smack of the real world because it's like what people are thinking, but
Yeah.
obviously no one, like you're walking in the mall and so
Yeah.
tell you're ugly. But you know, when you're walking around in a bikini and you're like saying, "Hi guys, you guys want to do a dance?" Like some guys are gonna tell you like, "No, you're ugly. Get away from me."
It's so like I always say, nobody, even though the girls will walk around half naked and stuff, whatever, it's still a naked peace of mind too, because everybody is more
It's like
rude.
weird how comfortable
People,
and,
yeah,
like,
they
bad
get so
it is
like,
at the same time.
because one of the things I always tell guys, the customers period, man and female, like show some respect.
Yeah,
That's the main thing. Show some respect for who's the girls on stage, because depending on how they're throwing the money, or like they be forcing their hand and where they don't need to be forcing their hand.
it's like, would you want that done to you?
And that's why I say that all the time. I say that all the time. You want me to do that? I can, like, you want somebody else to do that to you? The same thing. Like, have some respect, because these people will just come in, and since y'all just dancers, they don't think y'all actually human.
It's like really weird.
Yeah.
The thought process of it, because I feel like most guys and some women, not all women,
Yeah.
but I feel like most guys just think we're in there for attention and stuff, like we're lacking something. But in reality, I feel like every girl is in there just to make their money and survive. Like
Yeah.
it's really just a survival tactic. And although there are some girls that go in there like, and they're the biggest hornballs ever, and like they like to act dirty and all that, at the end of the day, like aside from that, like they're there to make their money. That's just the way that they do it.
Right.
And it's really weird when people think like, oh, we're just here for like attention and we're like these sexual objects and we want y'all to touch us and da 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 and this and that. It's just like, we're here for a reason. We're here to have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like it's that hard for the customer to also let us have a good time too, because that just makes it even better when everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, like I tell people all the time, hey, I don't want to throw you out if you do this or whatever. Just have a good time. All right, have fun. Some people just can't do that. I had issues yesterday where people just can't do that, you know. And I hate having to throw people out, but I don't mind it either, because if it
Right.
makes the night easier and better for everybody, let's go ahead and do it.
Because it just sucks dealing with all these random people.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, I wish I could like throw people out, because they just be saying the craziest things, but it's not nothing enough to like be like, oh, you need to get out of here. It's just like, you don't like me, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just stay away from you.
but I've heard it where customers, they just don't have no chill factor, and
At
it,
all.
and girls will be on stage, and this has happened, and I'm, you know, not saying names, but just like, I remember seeing this girl get on stage. She had a big butt and everything. She's pretty, beautiful girl, but a small chest. And customers was like, "Yo, you be bad as hell if you had a bigger titties."
Oh, I've seen worse than that.
But that type of shit she kept hearing over and over. It affected her.
So she got a blue job?
Yeah, she ended up doing a blue job, but people
Look
keep
bad.
saying stuff. It didn't look bad to me. I mean, to everybody, I don't know, but it's an ongoing thing. Like, she kept trying to fix more shit. So it became like, you start to see like, oh, okay, now that shit went from being how it started to how it's going. You know, like that shit really fucks with people because, oh, I got to do this now because it makes you
Yeah.
look better or make you more
And it's
attractive. You know, that
goes
shit.
into the confidence thing, because if you're really like confident like in your body and stuff, like you come with closure, knowing
Right.
the fact that not everyone's gonna like you, and that's okay. And you don't have to change yourself to conform to them, because it's not like that one person is gonna be giving you all your money for the rest of your career now. Like it's just one person. There's a
Mhm.
lot of other people that will come and think you're beautiful just the way you are and give you a bunch of money for that. There's always like one bad apple, though, I want to say.
Yeah, there's always gonna be like, what's the story that you have of like a worse situation, like a bad situation with a customer?
So the worst thing that happened, it wasn't bad for me. Like he liked me. I
Mhm.
just misheard him, and it just went left real quick.
Oh.
So I was actually working at this other club, and they had the music so loud, like so loud, like you couldn't talk to nobody.
Mhm.
Like there was no hi, how are you, my name is, like it was just like, you want to go, I'm grabbing you. So we were in the back room. It was like a 15-minute room, and he's telling me sit on me, but I heard him say spit on me. So I'm just saying, like, instead of saying like, are you sure you want me to sit on you, I just said, are you sure? Are you sure? And he's like, yes. So I literally popped the biggest loogie in this guy's face, because like, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you said to spit on you. I asked you if you were sure. I asked you like 3 times. And he's like, no, I said sit on me. And I'm like, oh, we can't even do that anyways. What are you talking about?
You should have took the spit.
I'm saying, but the good thing about it was that he was cool about it. He wiped his face off, and we just kept going. So it ended up being good, but it was just like crazy how I did spit on him.
And you had to go with a good, like big old loogie, like, all right, that's what you want.
Not a little spit. I was like on your face. But I think the second worst thing that's probably happened is like, I had like this blue wig on. It was bright blue, like Hatsune Miku.
Okay.
Like her hair color.
Okay.
Bangs and all, like, look nice. And the one thing I will admit is like the big thing about the club environment is that it's very old school in the sense of like white guys and what they think about like non-white girls.
Oh yeah.
And the white guys that do like black girls is usually like a fetish type
Yeah.
thing. So I went up, I was walking around, this dude pulls me aside. He's like, can you do a dance for my friend? And I was like, yeah. He tries to hand me like $20, and I'm like, they're actually 60. And he's like, you're not worth $60. And I'm like, what the? You pulled me aside. You disturbed my peace. I was minding my business. And the reason I say like the reason I brought up the hair and stuff was just, I felt like it was because of the hair.
Yeah.
Like it just made me look a certain way. And that whole night I was just getting like weird people. And I was just like, why does the look thing like affect how people are treating me so bad?
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I think, the worst thing someone has said to me. Like, I'm not worth $60 because of how I look.
Damn.
Mind you, for the people watching, like, I'm not wearing any makeup. This is not how I look.
No, see how young she looked? Like, I learned a lot, especially working in the strip club industry now. There's a lot of fetish stuff going on when it comes to a lot of feet shit. You ever been that little Asian dude that come in with the feet?
Not the Asian dude, but there is this white guy that comes in and he just likes to feel like the crinkles of my feet.
Oh,
like, he likes me to curve my foot, like, so that he can feel the crinkles underneath.
So this is the Asian dude. You might run into him. He comes every once in a blue moon, but he knows, like, he'll draw your feet on the paper, and he knows exactly the weight that you are by your feet and all that. He'll look at you. I don't know how he does it, but he just knows. But then also after he does that, he wants you to walk on him.
Oh.
Like, he'll pay you to walk on him. He just wants you to walk on him, just back and forth. Yeah, that's what he likes it. That's what he likes.
You've seen it before?
I've seen it.
Oh.
And I'm like, if he just closes his eyes, I could do it. Just like, pay me the money. I just like, somebody tag me in, like, so I'll do it. It was one guy that wanted to get punched in the nuts, and I'm like, let me do it, please. Like, please, just blindfold him, and I'll kick him really, really hard.
You
like,
have no kids after that.
No, but it'd be like, hey, everybody got paid. He was happy, But I also say, like, the fetish of white dudes that never been with a black woman before or a Latina woman.
It's a lot of guys that come in there and they're just like, oh, I can actually experiment here. There's a lot of guys that come out to me too, like that they're gay or bisexual.
Really?
And that's what I mean. Like, it's so crazy how comfortable of a space it is, but it's also so negative. It's like the only place you could be 100% yourself, but with that comes so many bad things, customer wise and girl wise. Like,
I've seen a girl. To this day, it still boggles my mind because I think maybe because being in a strip club and talking to y'all is cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, girl. That's mocha. Yeah, for free. So like, talking to a dancer is probably cheaper. But it's like a whole lot cheaper than talking to a therapist.
Yes.
So I seen a guy talk to a day shift girl, and she wasn't really pretty. You know, she to me
that is also a big thing too. That
yeah,
a lot of people don't understand. Like sometimes
to me, she wasn't too pretty. I didn't think she was attractive.
Well, everyone has their own preference.
Yes,
but there is a thing that goes on where some guys will purposely like less attractive girls because it feels more real.
Yeah.
If you're like a guy that's really insecure and all that, and you were talking to like a 10 out of 10 girl or something, like you know what's really going on. Like she doesn't actually like you.
Yeah.
So the fantasy is kind of just a bit ruined.
Yeah.
So I feel like they go with the like less attractive girls because they feel like it's easier.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean to knock down any girls, but it does happen. Like most guys, they want the baddest girl in the room if they really got money and they're confident in themselves and all that. But a lot of the guys going to the club are insecure, unfortunately, aren't confident in themselves. So they want a girl that's more like on their level, and they'll find someone that's like not that attractive, and then we're just sitting here wondering like, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Yeah, because I feel like if the guy is able to talk to somebody right down there on your left, I feel like if a guy can talk to a girl that's maybe she is what is it, a 2 or 3 or 5. I don't know how to look at it. It makes it easier to say like they see them outside at the gas station.
They think it's more susceptible to happen.
Yeah, and they can say hi without being like, who the hell are you?
Right.
Because when that light switch goes off, that 10 that was all on you.
I have a saying. I think everyone's beautiful at 2 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Everyone is beautiful at 2 in the morning.
That is so true. That's
when you got a couple shots in you. Hey, that girl, she could look crazy outside, but under the lights are dim too. Everyone got makeup on. It's like she could look great. I've seen like crazy looking girls get mad money.
Yeah,
because they know how to talk too.
They know how to talk,
and their eyes are a little flared. Like the guys drunk. And
I've seen some mess at 2 and 3 in the morning. And I'm like, how? What is that? 2, 3? That just the eyes are foggy this time. Yeah. They already a little hit. They already a little drunk. They don't care. Yeah. Well, back to what I was saying, there was a girl who I called her Pennywise. She looked like Pennywise. You know the movie It?
Yeah.
She looked like that to me. She had the red hair, like the whole Ronald McDonald look, pale skin. But she was able, like right before she was about to leave, she had like a half hour before she left. Dude, come in.
Yeah, she should.
Regular dude, whatever. And yet, he's like, oh, you want to do a champagne? They were in that champagne room. Mind you, a champagne room to you guys is like 30 minutes. And they could charge, a girl could charge like $350 to $800. Let's say 800, but can't go to over 1,000. Can't even go to 1,000. Yeah. So she did 5 champagnes. She charged a dude like 500.
Each one?
Each 30 minutes. He was in there for 5 hours. And all he did was literally, I'm watching the cameras. He's got his head on her lap, talking like he's talking to a therapist. That's all he was doing.
Wow.
He was just.
It is cheaper and it's like a bit more fun because it's like the girl's naked or whatever.
Yeah, but no, she had her top on, everything. Oh. She wasn't even like she didn't have to take anything off. He just really wanted somebody to talk to, and it was just like, you got a kind face type of thing.
Yeah. And
he just cannot vent. And she's like, yeah, whatever you want to talk to. She didn't care. He paid the price, whatever. He's like, yeah, keep going. Like he was just in his thing. He had to get it all out. And I was watching, like he did not leave. He just was in that mode. I was like, damn, she made a grip. She didn't have to. Once she got her money, she was done. She didn't even come back the rest of the week.
I mean, I wouldn't either.
Like,
depending on what he told her, it might have been a lot.
Right? Yeah. You know, the girl, she got her money. He he got his mental fix, you know, got his, you know.
I mean, hopefully, because unfortunately, like there are some people that come in there and it's like their last day. Like they're just like trying to let it out for someone. Like I've heard some girls like they talk to some dude and you know they express like you know they were sad and all that stuff and they had a good time together, but like the next day he killed himself.
Yeah,
it was, like his last chance of like actually being able to get it off his chest.
And yeah, that's some sad stuff.
It's a lot of load. Like being in that environment, like you're definitely more than just a dancer, entertainer. Like you're a therapist sometimes, a masseuse. Like you could be anything, whatever these dudes, not whatever these dudes want, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
it does come with like multiple professions, and I think that's like the good thing about it. You do get to learn about different like people's emotions and stuff, and like you meet so many different people, so you kind of become a natural people person.
Now, do you think some girls, like when they try to do extracurricular activities outside of the club, or even try to, you know, get away with something inside, which usually never go further.
Yeah,
we usually try to catch it.
Doesn't usually go well.
Yeah, do you think that give y'all a bad name even more so? Like,
I think it ruins the economy. Not like the actual economy, but like our economy.
Yeah,
it's like if there's out of like the 10 girls that say, or no, out of like the 9 girls that say no to this dude about like going outside for like $300, there's the one that will.
Yes.
And then that's what keeps guys like that coming in, because we feel like they'll just find the one girl that does, and then it makes everything we do seem like it should be less price. So if you're doing extra stuff for like $300, now it seems ridiculous that I'm charging you $500 for 30 minutes of me doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it just ruins it like that. I feel like a lot of girls that do it, they just don't know their worth, because you could do that stuff. There's just a right way and a wrong way to do it.
Knowing your worth is really big. I like to preach that even to my nieces and stuff. Like knowing your worth plays a huge part in a lot of things.
Just like let people talk them down too. Like they'll be like, "Oh, you're not worth this, so we could do this and that," and then they just like, "Oh, well, I'll just take whatever money you could give me and let me do it like that." But in doing that, you are now just depleting your worth yourself, because you're like, "I've already done it for $300 or $400 or $500. Like, what's two?" Like,
yeah, and then usually like these girls sometimes they'll do it and screw it up for all y'all, and like that customer will like tell their friends, "Oh yeah, this happened at this club," and so they go to this club that they heard about and expecting this to happen because it happened before and person got away with it or whatever case.
Unfortunately, thankfully, we work at like a club that doesn't really like mess with that type of stuff, because I have worked at places where it's like I'll be like in the back room doing like a 15-minute, and like every guy that goes back there is expecting to get something, and I've seen girls on their knees before, like on like doing whatever they're doing, because I can't really see above their knees, but I see that their knees on the floor. Like,
like, and you know what? Funny enough, those girls usually be like their first time there or whatever. But
they think that that's what they have to do
because they done it at the other club.
Yeah,
they got it at the other. They did it here or here, and it was acceptable. And when they come to our club, it's like, no, you don't do that. No, I'm sorry, this is your last day. As soon as you try to do it, it's like no. And then, and if you tell the manager or whatever, hey, I worked at this club, and we already know how that club rocks, we're making sure we keeping an eye on you the whole time. Like, because there ain't gonna be no craziness, no funny business over here. We're waiting. Like, we're waiting for you to slip up.
Game to play.
Yeah, and we try to tell.
Undercover.
Yeah, and we try to tell girls, hey, whatever you did at whatever club, that's there. Like, you can't do. And I say that to even customers. Whatever you got to get, got to do last time with the other club, you can't do that here. It's not gonna be here. Yeah. Go back to there if you're trying to think if you want to do that.
Then unfortunately, like we're right next to the place the closed spot that does it.
Yeah, which is so weird, because it's like I tell you to it. You go next door. They right next door. Yeah. Go right over there.
The thing is, apparently someone told me it's like old ladies over there. Like old ladies like no teeth type shit.
Dude, it's more than that. It's a whole lifestyle over there. There's download stuff. There's a lot of extra activities.
Crazy over there.
It's there in the other spot too. That's around the corner. They do this stuff. There's by the McDonald's. There's that little hole in the wall little spot. No, but near that, next to that Super 8.
Dirty shit too.
This next to the Super 8 is the Super 8 Enterprise and is the Exotic Zone, whatever. Oh, okay. They own by the same people.
Oh wow.
And they do extra stuff too. They got, from what I heard, they have the glory hole, and people go there. And
I heard that place has the glory hole.
If you go over there, it's packed. It's that glory hole spot. That
there ain't selling that many toys.
Yeah, like you're trying to go. So you going to McDonald's and stuff?
Have any of the girls ever gone over there?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Not to work, but like to see it.
I know some girls go to next door for the bubble tea.
To go suck the niggas' dick?
I would think so.
But there's all the crackheads, prostitutes all over that side.
No, yeah, it's like not like girls that look like
it's
girls.
It's
like
crackheads and stuff. Yeah, they take what they can get.
TLC.
What? Like TLC?
That's like an inside joke.
Okay, because I was like the group,
not the actual group.
Oh, I'm like, she said old ladies and then TLC. Like, wait.
No, we work at this other.
Oh, now I want to hear it now. Oh, come on.
No.
You gotta say no names.
Just in case.
All right. But after we get off the air, I'm gonna hear this. We ain't talking about it, so you gotta worry about it.
They have never heard that before.
Yeah, but I know them smart enough to know that they'll know it.
So, what about when you working as a dancer? Another thing, as a dancer, people don't think about is being touched by strangers.
Yes.
That whole, I
think it comes with the territory. Like, you can definitely be more reserved if you want to be reserved, but it's still gonna happen no matter what.
Right.
And I feel like if you are someone that doesn't like being touched like at all, then it's not the job for you. Mm-hmm. Not saying that you should allow anything that makes you uncomfortable, but when you're working at a strip club, like the norm for what's comfortable and what's not is a little bit different than like out in the real world. Like obviously if I'm like at Walmart and someone just brushes up to me and like I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And I mean, even at the club, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But if we're doing a dance or something and you touch me, like I'm not really surprised that you're touching me. And I feel like there's some girls that will say like, oh, I never get touched, and it's just a lie. Like, you definitely got in touch before, not like in a bad way, just like someone's definitely tried touching before. Right.
Okay. Now, what about being touched by like customers that you actually don't mind? Like the ones, like, have you ever been attracted to the customer?
I've definitely did some dances with people that I was like physically attracted to. But for me, like, I would never want to be like actually attracted to someone in the club, because just like the fact that you're even there, it's just like that just says a lot about you.
So that means that if you had a guy, you don't want them to go into a strip club.
Definitely not. I mean, as a guy, I could understand why you go and stuff, but guys with girlfriends and stuff, I don't understand at all.
That always boggles. Well, understand? No, I don't mind. I like the guys that come there with their girlfriends.
With the girlfriends, I get that. There's like two kinds of people that come with their girlfriends. There's the ones with the girlfriends that are fully into it, and then there's the ones with the girlfriends that are not into it at all, and they just force them to go there.
I mean, I've seen girls that don't mind. I mean,
there's girls that don't mind, but it's usually either they're supporting you or they're not.
Oh, and then there's other time too. You have swingers.
Oh yeah, no, that goes into like the support category. Like they be like together, and the guy and the girl are both enjoying it. Sometimes more the girl than the guy. And then there's the girls that just got dragged there. And they're visibly upset and they're visibly jealous and all that stuff. And I honestly, that's like the worst energy to be around. Because it's like, I'm not doing anything but my job.
I feel like at that point, stay home.
Right.
Just stay home.
Because why are you making me uncomfortable? This is my place of work.
See, like, we had like 4 girls come in last night. And they were not ugly. They were pretty. And I'm like, I didn't know they were like... staring. They were just staring. I didn't know they were like scoping out the place because they want to work there or something. Because that could be. I've seen that happen plenty of times.
Yeah.
But they would just sit around, just like, are they gonna beat up somebody that we don't know about?
I'm saying.
Because you never know when there's a group of girls like that's coming to the strip club on their own. There's no other guys. It could be either they looking for somebody that worked there, or they trying to enjoy themselves. But sometimes you just got them like just sitting there, but.
I don't think you need to sit there for that long, though.
They was there. They just sat there for like a good half hour or whatever. Then they saw you. Then they start pouring money, whatever, and then they sat back. I think you or some.
It was crazy.
You inside
they came like right at the end.
Yeah.
And they were just staring at me the whole time, and I'm like, are these girls just judging me right now? Like, it was the side where we had to take all our clothes off too. So I'm like, I'm about to take this off, and I feel like they're already judging me now. I feel like mad. Felt like a bunch of sardines were watching me, like a bunch of fish.
See, I was watching them because like, I'm always afraid. Like some girls always, I feel like some girls are more worse than guys when it comes to like touching and stuff. And some girls, they want to be extra handsy and be like, what? Like, I'm a girl like too.
How are you like that as a woman? Like, why do you think I don't even know you?
And I always say, not for nothing, like, I hate to be that person to say it, but it's always the big girl in the group. Lucky was no big girl in the group, but they were always the big loud girl that always wants to be the handsiest person in there. And I gotta tell them, hey, you can't do that. Stop. And then they want to question your manhood because I'm telling them, hey, can you stop trying to finger this woman? Can you not try to fist her? Can you stop? I've seen it.
It's funny you say that. Oh yeah, there was actually this one woman the other day. She was getting a dance from a girl, obviously, and the girl went upside down, and she had a tongue piercing, and she had her tongue out because she was trying to lick the girl's vagina. Wow. And the girl went upside down, put her leg up, and kicked her right in the tongue piercing and split her fucking tongue open.
That was a customer or the girl?
The customer got her tongue split open.
Ooh.
Like, she was in the bathroom bleeding. She's drunk as hell. She's like, do I need to go to the hospital? Can you look at this for me? And I'm like, you need to go right now.
Ooh.
Like, what?
That's horrible.
That's not even a question, babe. Your tongue is split open. Your tits can wait. Don't get your life.
Yeah. She was like just in the bathroom. She was like, I was trying to eat pussy and it went horribly wrong.
That was the problem. You try to eat pussy here.
I'm saying that's not the place for this.
This is not. Things are shit.
People just, and the one thing is that, like how you were saying, like it's just the one girl that ruins it for everybody. Because there is someone that will do it.
Yeah.
And that's with every job. I feel like there's just the one person that like lowballs themselves.
And sometimes I feel like it's some girls try to get away with it with a girl, like a female customer, because it's a female customer.
Yeah.
So
no, like I think the craziest thing that happened to me was that I was doing a champagne room. These guys were swingers. They were like really into me, both the guy and the girl, and the girl just happened to get full butt naked.
Oh yeah, that happens. I've seen it. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't gonna tell her anything because okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If she looked good,
No, she did look good. So I was like, they're probably gonna look at this and think like she's another dancer.
We look at it like, is she naked? We judging first. It's like, oh, that's pretty hot. She's pretty hot. Okay, no, all right, let's stop it. Oh no, we don't let it slide. We just.
If it's like a big girl though.
If it's a big girl, we shut it down. We stop.
Y'all fat phobic.
Ain't no fat phobic. It just baby, but it's like
there's
in that job.
There's a bad big.
Yeah, there's different types. Like you have like
she's like a thick BBL queen.
Yeah, it was like she's pretty and like, but it was like the sloppy stuff. Like it was like Jabba the Hutt type. Be like, hey, stop.
What do you consider sloppy then?
Like it look like shapes. It's like shapes.
Like, but then how did you acquire that build?
Like, yeah, it's like you ever Penguin from the Batman Returns, Danny DeVito, look like an egg, like that type of thing.
Like no ass type.
Like all that, the whole build, whatever type of thing. You're just like thinking it. Yeah, it's a whole. That's a whole other thing. But there's different. We're not, but being realistic. They're not hiring that at the strip club.
The thing is, too, is that they're really strict because there have been girls that are on the bigger side. Like, they're big women, but they're not actually big, if you know what I mean. Like, they look good,
but you compare them.
Bigger than the average woman.
If you compare the girls, there was a time, I still say this to this day, we had, like, 2 thick girls, and they were fine. They were beautiful. And, like, if they were on different days, separate, they was always separate. Yeah. Never came in the same day. This happened to be the same day they show up. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. But the DJ at the time, instead of, I don't know how he warped mind he had, but he screwed up.
He put them together?
Yes. Right after you had 2 small girls. I don't know why he did this. He had 2 skinny girls on first. And this is on the the all new side.
Yeah.
And
so it's even worse.
Yeah.
It's just one stage. Like they looking at that.
And it was one of the girls is still brand new by probably like 2 weeks, and she didn't know how to dance really.
Yeah.
So
like on the pole or just like not at all.
At all. So she's holding the pole the whole time. She's handcuffed to the pole most of that whole time. And like so after the 2 skinny girls went, the DJ had both those 2 big girls go in there, and big in comparison to the 2 small ones.
Yeah.
And it did not look good. Like it was sad because our manager, one of the owners, I mean, he saw it, and it was just happened to be the same moment, and he's like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this on my stage? What the hell? Get this shit off my stage."
Picky though, I feel like it's
Which
bad
one
to
was
be
it,
like that.
Yeah, okay.
Of course it was.
I mean, but at the same time, when you compare it, like if it's like I've seen them go up before, like one of them that actually can dance.
Yeah.
And I remember she going up with like Gabby enough. She was on the she was thicker. She was a little bit thicker than Gabby, but she was fine and still killed it. But the fact that she was up with this other girl, and they both mirror each other in a way.
Yeah.
And then the sound on the stage.
The sound?
Yes.
What do you mean the sound?
The
on
stage is like called. It was like
the people looking were just like
this. No, not boo. It was just like the. You know how the boots sound, the heels. But you heard a lot more heels, and it just sounded like, oh man, this sound like.
I thought you were gonna say like ass clapping, like they were clapping.
No, it sounded like a herd.
A herd of buffalo coming through.
Like, because all you heard was their feet. Like, one girl trying to do the pole, and she's not being able to flip on really. So you just heard her feet keep hitting the dang stage, and the other girl's trying to do some floor stuff, and she's hitting her feet together, and you heard so much of it, and I'm just like, oh my god, they go get fired.
I feel like it's good in moderation.
That
night.
Yeah,
right
they
got off, or
that was their last night. They did not. I felt bad for them because if they came separately, it would have been fine. But somehow they came at the same exact time, and this is the time.
This dude messed them up by putting them up together.
Yeah,
he did that on purpose.
And the thing is, our old manager, sort of club manager, gave them a chance because he knows usually they won't give a bigger girl like their size a little bit of a chance, but he did.
People like that, everyone makes their money.
They did. They did make some money though. Like every time I saw them, they made money. But they were, it was just the extent of putting them both at the same time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just didn't work. It was sad, but matter of fact, I saw one of them came by to the club like last week, actually, hanging out in the VIP. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So I mean, she looks good. She's doing good, whatever. But I hate how she went out because that's like,
yeah, you
see people trying their best. They try to pay bills and stuff, and like this is what it comes to, like having thick skin.
It's really old school in the sense of like you're about to get really judged for your looks.
Yeah, and like you have to have this like thick skin, like can't let somebody say certain things to get over like the mess the whole thing up, mentally wise, because that could have screwed somebody up easily, But
like she could have killed herself or something.
It could, yeah, it definitely could be. Now with all that, because damn, I said herd. I did say herd too. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you
went
a little overboard.
But that's what it did sound like. It was the shoes. It was all the shoe clapping. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. No offense, but it was a lot.
I know, because some people really don't like the shoe clapping.
Yeah,
I think it's good in moderation. Like when you do it like once, like in a while, like people are like, oh, her shoes clack. Okay.
Yeah.
And it brings attention because they just heard like a big noise. Yeah.
I usually do it if I'm like on my back and I'm doing like the shaking leg, and then I'll clap it, and then I'll open it into a split, and then I'll bring it back.
What is that called? What's that move called? Because I always call it, do the seizure thing.
That's
the seizure?
Like I would look the little legs. I was like, oh, the seizure dance thing. I would look.
Yeah, apparently guys don't like that.
They don't.
I don't.
I remember one of the bouncers, like Jay told me it looked funny. He's like, I hate when girls do that. It looks fucking stupid.
Well, he's a different.
I feel like it's a woman's gaze thing.
Honestly, I feel like, I don't know. When I do it, I get compliments, so I don't know.
I mean, certain,
I don't know.
you know what? It looks good on certain people. I would say maybe that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and Jay's a different type of breed of person too. You know, but
He's really picky.
yeah,
Like,
but
he's not at the same time.
Who?
Jay.
he's a weird one. He's definitely a weird one. Like,
Different breed.
I wouldn't put too much what you say with a grain of salt sometimes.
He's
like,
just young.
yeah,
So,
that's exactly what it is. Super young. I'm like, you'll learn. You'll figure it out one day. You get it. But definitely that move, it works for certain people.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do it and pull it off. It just, but that's
I feel
with
like
anything.
sometimes it does look funny.
Yeah.
I feel funny doing it personally.
I don't.
But,
I love doing it. I think it looks sexy.
I think it looks good too. I just
Mhm.
think it does at the same. Like I feel like there's been times where I'm there and I'm like looking at someone dancing and I'm like, this is so funny, but they look good. It looks sexy. It's just like this is also funny at the same time.
Now, going into being a dancer, do you have to learn? Do you have to know how to twerk if you're going to be a dancer? Do you have to learn?
I feel
Do
like
you have to know how to work the pole? Like, can you just
No.
go and be like,
I mean, when
Definitely
I shake
not.
my ass, does it look good?
yes.
yeah,
I think you don't have to, but it does help
it does.
very much. Like I went in there not knowing anything. Like I never really.
But you
did
had
lots of
rhythm.
parties and stuff. Yeah, but I didn't know how to work the pole or anything. Like I have videos of it. It's crazy. I just look crazy. But I still made money my first day. So it's just like you don't need it. You can still make money like that.
hmm
And but it is better to evolve and like
Right.
be better at your craft. And I feel like when I was watching the videos doing like the research and stuff, like the girls were saying like don't get stuck thinking like, let's say you made money one day and now you think that that's like the only way you can make money by acting that way instead of like evolving yourself and getting better at it, better at talking, better at dancing and all that.
Right.
Some girls stay like the same. Like, there's a
Mhm.
lot of girls I see that don't even touch the pole.
Yeah,
Because
there's a lot.
they've seen
Yeah.
that they can make money without doing that, so they feel like it's an extra thing to do, but they don't realize that they might be lowballing themselves because there could be someone that really likes them, but they want to see them on the pole.
Because I've seen it. There's been less girls that know how to work the actual pole down this time around, like than ever before. Because,
Yep.
huh?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, but I feel like it's an art to it if you know how to do it and do it the right way. And it can be like, damn, that's dope. Like I've seen one girl, I don't know where she went. I think I only worked with her one night, and like I just knew she was a black chick, and I think she was an instructor as well, and she wanted to work that whatever, and she was next door to the at the dark side, and demolished the whole thing. Like she was on stage, looked like some Circus Olay type shit, to the point where manager Steve was just like, "Oh shit, that's dope!" Like everybody stopped. Everybody just
cool.
stopped in there and just watched.
The only thing is that sometimes in where we work specifically, it doesn't get appreciated as much as
Yeah.
it should.
Yeah.
Like there will definitely be people like throwing, making it rain and all that, but that's only like once in a blue when you catch it. So it's like you want to do all this stuff and you learn all this stuff, but then you're doing it, it's not getting appreciated, and then that's when I feel like people get stuck doing like not doing the pole because they realize, oh, it's not really worth it, or it's
Right.
not getting appreciated as much as it should, so I'm just gonna stick to doing this. And then next thing you know, they're in here for 5 years and they don't even know how to touch it.
I
Yeah.
feel like for me, it like depends on my mood. Like if I'm in a mood where it's just like I'm just feeling myself, like I'm happy, like whatever, I had a good day or whatever, like, or if they're playing songs, like if I'm just in a good mood in
Yeah,
general,
you gotta
like
feel the
I'll just
vibe.
do it. Like even if
Mhm.
like nobody's tipping, like I'll just do it because I feel like it. But I will say like I do like to make my money a little bit faster, so
Mhm.
I like to like I remember there was a point where I wouldn't even wear like the shoes that you tie, and I would only wear like the slip, like the ones that you could just slip off,
Right.
because of the fact that I just didn't ever go on stage, and like the DJ knew like I don't go on a stage because I'm always getting that room. And even it happened this past weekend, like every time he would call me on the stage, I was in a dance, I was in a room, and it's like at one point when I finally came out and like I was going to the bathroom, he called me on the stage because he's like, I don't know when you're gonna be free again. So
Yeah,
I take my chance.
you know what? I be loving low key. I be loving when y'all be able to like get the champagnes and shit. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
go ahead, girl. When I be here like she's in the room again, like, oh, all right, look for somebody else. But low key like that's good. That's okay,
Yeah.
all right, because we know where the money is at too.
Right,
Where it's
right,
like,
and-
especially if it's slow, and you get that one person that's willing to spend some more extra money for the extra time, hell yeah. Take that shit over hopping on stage.
It's just more money guaranteed. Like, you just know what's actually going on.
Yeah.
With the stage, it's just like so. You don't even know. Like, they're throwing the money. It could look like a lot, and you don't even know exactly how much it is.
And then you also get that one person that's on stage, and even though it's one person, he might be throwing the most money in the whole thing, which is you just never know. Honestly,
and usually it is like that, where it's like one person did give most of the money. Sometimes it will be like a collective of like people all throwing money, but there's usually one person who's like supporting the most.
So
I think the best. Sorry, I was gonna say, like, I think the best though is like when you do find somebody who actually like really does fuck with you, because like there's nothing like telling somebody a price and them like not looking at it in a way that it's a lot of money, that like you deserve that, giving that to you, and then when you're done asking for a tip, or sometimes I've been having to ask for a tip, and they give you like, let's say your room was $500, and then they tip you like $200 or $400 or $500 just because they think that you're literally worth that. And I saw this thing recently where this girl was talking about like, you know, she instead of telling people how much she wants for a room, like just to see where they're at and like if they actually fuck with her, if they have money, without actually asking them if they have money, she'll be like, okay, like how much do you think I'm worth?
Oh,
right. And then you could get someone.
Right. So like if somebody is, she's like, for an example, if you know, you ask somebody like how much you think that you're worth, and that person's just like, they give you like a poor response, like, oh, like this or whatever, or they start making it all about money, then you know that person may not necessarily want to spend money on you. But if you're with a person and they're like, they start complimenting you, they're like, you're worth this and that and da 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 da, and it's like, or they just kind of tell you like to take control of like whatever you want, like, you know what I mean, like that kind of helps you gauge it more, because that's how you'll know. Like I remember I asked the guy, I was just like, you know, do you have a budget? You know, do you have a budget? Do you like, is money a thing for you? Like, is it something that like, you know? And he's like, nope. And then by that, I just kind of knew what I could and couldn't charge. Like, it wasn't me telling him $500. He didn't care, because money, he didn't have a budget. He didn't care. He was there for a good time. Whereas you might meet somebody else who, you know, this happened to me in the weekend where this guy was like lecturing me and telling me how I should be grateful that he gave me $200 because some people only make $7 an hour. And I said, hey, listen, I don't go and take care of myself and pay to have my toes and my nails done, my hair done, all this stuff. I'm half naked and I'm wearing these tall ass heels for about 10 hours. And you think that I'm putting myself in a position like this to only get $7 an hour? I'm like, you don't have to be here. I would never go to your job and tell you how much you are worth or how much you should get paid. That's ridiculous.
Right. It's also such a confidence boost when you have someone that messes with you, because there's just so many people that are like dickheads like that, unfortunately. But when you do get like the people that like you, it just shows you like it's not really me. It's like just those people, like either they don't have the money and they're trying to like compensate for that by telling you like, oh, it shouldn't even be that much, and they're just trying to manipulate you. It's almost like, it's really like being in sales. Like if there's a customer that comes in and wants to buy a TV or something, like of course he's gonna try to talk you down on it, even though he knows that the TV is worth like $600.
It's like going to a dealership and like trying to bargain with the guy. Like, it's like sometimes it might work, but for the most part it's like they're gonna look at you and be like, listen, I've invested this amount of money to get this car on the lot, right? And so for you to even be able to see this car on the lot, I had to invest and I had to put in all this extra work that you're not seeing, right? So it's like, for you to then tell me that you don't want to pay that price, that's fine. I'll wait for the next customer, because I've already invested all this to make sure that this car is on the lot and available for somebody who's ready to buy it. And it's the same thing with a dancer. It's like, we invest in our looks. There's some girls who may not, but personally, I charge what I charge because of the fact that I put a lot of effort into the way that I look. I come to work prepared. Everything's always done. My hair is done. My makeup is done. These things cost money, you know? So it's like to try to tell me my own price, or to try to like, I'm not going to talk to you for very long.
And the thing that messes that up too is that there are girls that will be like, oh yeah, you're right.
I'll take the $200.
Yeah, I'll just take something.
But that's also what you said, we talked about earlier about doing your birth too.
Yeah.
So it plays a part in that. Now, you as a dancer, like you saying all that, does that also bleed over into your social life too, like dating and everything? Like, you got to have a guy that's like, okay, can you afford my lifestyle?
I think that's the biggest and the hardest thing to actually come to closure with, is just realizing the fact that your relationship or how you view relationships is completely changed
Mm.
as soon as you walk in there. Because you're gonna see guys that are head over heels for you, talking about they want to marry you and stuff, and they don't even know you, and they're talking about they want to spend all this money, or they do spend all that money, and then the guys, I mean, for me personally, I feel like it's a little harder because my age too, because like most guys around my age aren't really making that much money because they're still figuring their life out, which is fine.
Right.
But I personally make a lot of money. I take care of myself. I like taking care of people, so I expect the same thing. And it's just like it gets hard because it seems like I'm like a gold digger, like what's that called, materialistic.
Right.
And I'm not. I just want the same treatment, but I know that I'm like on a different level right now. Not to sound like higher than anyone or anything. Like no one's better.
Talk
than
your
me.
shit. Talk your shit.
But it's just hard to have like to know what to expect in a relationship, and relationships are hard to make work anyways, even when you aren't a dancer. So I feel like just being around that environment, being like judged for your looks, and like people actually want to take care of you that don't even know you, it just makes it hard to actually find someone that you genuinely connect with. Especially because a lot of guys too just see us as like a money pocket. Like, oh, this girl makes money and she's bad. Like this is the whole deal. Like I can get my PS5 right here. Like,
and I think it's nothing is worse. Like, no disrespect to like any person, but it's like I feel like nothing is worse than, and it could be the same for like a man. Let's say he goes to his job and he works in finance and he makes all this money for his family, and he comes home to a woman who's just sitting on the couch waiting and not adding anything. Like, is the house clean? Are you doing anything?
Right.
yeah,
What are you
exchange.
doing? What are you doing to add value to my life? Because the thing is, like, there's nothing worse than being in the environment that we are in, and these men are willing to do these things, take us on dates, buy us food, pay for our bills, give us money as we're at work, like do all these things, and then you go home to somebody who can't even buy you flowers, or doesn't want to buy you flowers, or doesn't want to do this, or doesn't want to do that, or can't afford to do this. And it's like it's not like you're trying to be down on that person, but you have to understand, like, I'm going to work and making the big dollars. You need to also be able to go to work or do something to
hold your weight.
Because then it's like I feel like I am your sugar daddy by treating you to things, because it's my because I'm making so much money. I want to treat myself and I want to treat you, but then it's like I'm coming home to somebody who can't even treat me the same, or at least they can't really do something that feels a little equivalent to that. And it's just like it's not even about being a gold digger, but it's like you put yourself in a position to make more and to want more. So then when you're going home to somebody, when you're going to bed with somebody, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you don't want to feel like you have to go, like you have to bring yourself down a couple pegs, because of the fact that they're not bringing as much to the table, right? Because it's like I'm putting myself up here for a purpose, for a reason. I'm investing in this stuff, right? This dancer clothes are expensive. Like minimum, like an outfit is like $50 if you're lucky. And it's like, yeah, you can buy the cheap like Shein outfits and stuff. That's fine, but those will only last for so long, and you constantly have to re-up. You know what I mean? And it's like guys, like they come there for the fantasy. Like we have to invest in our looks. So it's just like you can't be in a relationship with a person who either doesn't add value or at least doesn't have that work ethic that you do, because it takes good work ethic to be a dancer. It really does. Like you have to sell people on everything. It's a sales job, right?
I see like a lot of guys, especially when they get a girlfriend that's from the club, like they met up at the club, it's always like after a month or two or however long, now they want you out the club.
It's
like, but that's how you met her though. Like, and then now you mad, even if she stayed being a dancer, now you throw that in her face. I hear all that stuff. Like they throw it in your face. Oh, well, at least I ain't shaking my ass. But that me shaking my ass. Like that's how we got together. Like
you wouldn't be mad,
but they wouldn't be mad if, oh, okay, I came home to you and I bought you some stuff too. You wouldn't have shit to say now.
If I came home with a Nike tech suit every night, you good?
You wouldn't have.
But why should I have to do that? That's that's the other thing that comes into play too, is that we're looked at a lot differently because we're dancers. So it's like some people, it's like really hard to take us serious because it goes into that whole aspect where people think like we're there for attention, or like we want the extra attention or whatever, when we're really just there for money, just like at any other job. It just comes with, we're doing different shit for it. But it is still like a laborer's job. It's still regular. And I could understand why guys feel some type of way or all that, but it's just like, why would you even put yourself in the position if you knew you were gonna feel some type of way about it.
Exactly. I also think that like another thing that always makes me laugh in those predicaments of like just like meeting guys at the club is like when they just feel so comfortable asking you about how much money you make. And my response, I used to like, you know, whatever, like entertain it a little bit when I was a baby dancer and I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
But now when they're like, oh, like, do you do well for yourself? Like, how much money do you make? I go, how much money do you make?
Yeah.
And then they go, oh. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why would you ask me that? I'm like, don't you feel like that's an inappropriate question? I'm like, because why do you have your job? You have a job to make money, right? So I have my job to make money.
Exactly.
Don't ask me how much I make. That's weird.
Yeah,
Right.
I got that. I got that
That's
question
weird.
yesterday. Somebody, matter of fact, those crazy dudes that we kicked out. One of those dudes, like
fake ballers.
Yeah, one asked me about how much money you make. I'm like, why you want to know? He was like, you just want to know. Like, I don't talk about that. But it's like what I make probably is not the same what my other coworker might make either. So it's like, I'm not gonna tell you that. And you know, you try to put two and two together. No.
And it's like it's pointless information. Like, what are you gonna do with that after?
Exactly.
I tell you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but also like I would say when it comes to y'all dating the guys and stuff, like I always see the guys spend so much money on dancers, and they have a whole girlfriend home,
and then they don't really spend that much.
No, a lot of the guys that come to the club have whole girlfriends. Matter of fact, when something happens, like I don't even need this place anyway. I got a girlfriend that's fine as hell at home.
So why were you here?
What the hell are you here for?
My favorite is the ones with like a whole family. I had this guy who ended up like, and there's another thing too, is like if we have a relationship and like you're one of those guys that's like trying to like invest in me or like help me learn more about something, like that's an even better exchange that I can respect. Then we can talk about money, right?
Right.
But it's like you will be meeting these people for the first time and they're asking you all your business. That is so like no,
like,
and it's just like that. And then on top of that, it's like the ones with the whole wives. They're the first ones to try to make you like be a sugar baby in the sense of like fucking them. Like they want to fuck. And I had this guy who was like trying to. I met him, like we did rooms, whatever. And then he wanted to hang out outside of the club, and he was the first person I ever hung out with outside of the club because I don't do that because he wanted to treat me to getting my nails done. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, who wouldn't want that, right? So then I went, whatever, and then like following up, like he started being more sexual, asking me for pictures. I was like, I don't feel comfortable sending you pictures. I don't really have like a dynamic with you like that. I still like really don't know you like that. And I wasn't ever gonna plan on sending him shit anyways. But then he started talking more about like he wants to do this and that. And I told him, I'm like, we have to get there at least or something. Like it's just like every time you talk to me, we have these surface level conversations.
Like I'm still a regular girl.
I'm listening to you vent. I'm listening to you vent about work and vent about your wife. How do you think that's me and you establishing a connection? Like I can understand when girls do it because of the fact of like, not saying I would, but I'm saying like I can understand when they do because they have a relationship with a person. But for you to have no relationship with a person and expect them to just do all this stuff and please you and do all that extra stuff, I think it's just ridiculous. Like it's just I'm not about to do all that, and I don't even know you. I don't eat like STDs is a real thing. Like I don't know what your my chart says.
And that's another crazy thing too. These guys really it really just goes to show how easy guys are with themselves and how like little self-worth they do have. Like they don't know that just because they're stronger than us, like we could be smarter.
Oh
like,
yeah,
these guys are so. There's been so many times where I just think like, damn, I could have just killed this guy, or like poisoned him or something.
Like we're gonna do it, but it's just
right.
Like,
we're not gonna do it, but it's like they make it. They're so reckless, and it's like when you're asking a random girl to go outside, like she could have some guy ready to like rob you. Right now, like you're thinking it's just me. Like there could be a whole situation going on.
But I was told from a customer that this is like girls not even here anymore. That doesn't work there anymore. It was like the girls they were supposed to hang out with the girls after work. They followed them after work, whatever. But he saw another car behind them, following them on the way to his house, and he lived a little bit further out. So like he sped up, and he had like a gate on his shit. So he, got the gate whatever closed and everything. But there was like calling his phone and stuff, and he could literally see on his camera that the other car was parked a little bit further away.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Oh hell no! I know what y'all trying to do." He's like, "Y'all trying to no, that's taking my shit." Like he told me this like on a drunk night. He was like, "Drunk people tell you this. They tell you the truth most of the time."
Yeah.
So he's telling me this at work, and he told me who, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And I mean, I ain't no snitch. I was just like, "Damn, that's fucked up."
That's crazy.
But it made me more aware of that type of person that they are, and I like anybody who try to like deal with them, like, don't do that.
It's just
Don't
like
do
they
that.
don't realize that they don't know us just as much as we don't know them.
And
Yeah.
we can all like the thing that also is funny to me is like when guys come in, they're trying to play us. Like you can't play the player. You know what I mean? Because like even this past weekend, like I had a guy who was like trying to get me really wasted. Like he was trying to get me wasted. Like he's like, let's do double shots. So you know, I entertained the first shot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then I realized he wanted to keep going and going. And then at that point, like, you know, I started taking water shots because I'm like, you're fucking with me, right? And then like after he started to be like, he's like, oh wow, I thought my tolerance was high. Your tolerance is really high. And I'm like just faking like being like drunk as fuck because I realized like even when I was trying to be like, you know, I'm good, whatever, like he still wanted to do it. So it's like at the end of the day, like if you're not going to listen to my boundaries, if you are being persistent, and if you're trying to get me fucked up so that you can take advantage of me because you think I'm stupid, I'm sorry, but you're getting played, and the club's getting their money because you're coming in here with ill intentions, and I never even created that dynamic for you. I was being truthful the whole time.
True.
I told you my prices. I told you this. I told you that. Like, and you're the one that's trying to get me fucked up. So I could touch your dick or put it in my mouth or go home with you, or you tell me come in your car. Like, am I stupid?
It's such a straightforward thing at the club. Like, it's just like you go there, you spend money, you find a girl, you like, have fun with her. That's it.
Yeah, I ask you if you want to do room. You say no. I go, okay, well, whenever you're ready, let me know. If not, I hope you have a good night. You know what I mean?
We don't treat anyone any different by race or like by anything.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna force you to do a dance with me, but I'm not also gonna allow you to get me fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
I've come up like over the years and stuff, people come to me and ask me about what it's like to work at a strip club. That the major part is the sex work part. They think it's all about that. Like, they doing this and that. And like, no. Maybe the other club. But not here. And a lot of times I do tell a customer, you can't do that here. But I can tell you where you could go. Yeah, you could go over here, hit Google it, you know what I'm saying? Like, like go over there. Go have fun. Go over there. So without the ups and downs, a couple more questions. What's the favorite thing about being a dancer?
My favorite thing gotta be when we're making a lot of money. That's it. That's all.
Of course.
Making a lot of money and actually having a good time, because I feel like there's a difference between a good night and then a night where you're actually enjoying yourself. Because I could have a great night making money and stuff, but I was like just drained the whole time. I was forcing it. And unfortunately, that's what we have to do sometimes, because it's like if you got to make the money for rent or whatever, you have to. There's no like, just like a regular job, like there is calling out or whatever. It's a bit more freelancey than other jobs, but sometimes you really just do have to go. And I think it's way better when I'm actually having like a really good time and making money. Like it just feels so good.
No,
I feel
I
was gonna say, like, I have a couple of things that I like. I think one of them obviously is like when you make really good money and stuff like that, because I feel like it allows you to see your potential and also your power. And I feel like it allows you to like build this money confidence that you didn't really have before, which is really cool. To especially coming from a person who, you know, I grew up in a way where it was like just my mom, and my mom was one of the hardest working people I've ever seen, and so was my dad, but I mainly grew up around very hardworking women. Same thing with my grandma. Like my grandma I used to live with her for a couple of years, and she would like take me everywhere. She had her own shop, and I'd be in their shop with her. She would be hustling, you know, selling all the stuff from her garden, from our family garden and stuff like that. And then when it came to my mom was a cleaning lady, and my mom did a lot of things, you know what I mean? So it's like,
so you definitely worked hard.
Yeah, I've had a job since I was 12. So like to be in a position where I'm able to make this money not only fast, but like in a way that's also consistent, like I am so grateful, and it teaches me like that money confidence that I never had before. And I can go into a store and I could buy something and not feel worried about it, and I can pay a bill and still have money left over. And like seeing my mom like pay her bills and not have very much left over, so we got to stretch it and we got to figure it out and stuff. Like being in that position now is like, I am so grateful. And that's why it's like, if I have a bad day, and I was saying this to Maya the other day, I was like, some of the girls, I think they don't realize like it's okay sometimes to like have a day where you make $0. Like I don't be tripping. If you saw me on the Wednesday, I was sitting there smoking my little vape, like I was just talking, eating my candy. Like, I really was not pressed. Like I was, no part of my body felt pressed, because I was like, at the end of the day, like one thing I know for sure is God's got me. And so I had a bad Wednesday, but I had a great Thursday, I had a great Friday, and a great Saturday.
It's just like a sales job. There's just bad days and good days.
And you gotta, and your gratitude in those moments will prepare you for when you do make good money. It's just like, you know, a turning thing. Another thing I will say though is the networking aspect of it is a beautiful thing, because you meet so many people. I've had job offers. I've had at least 3 to 4 job offers since I've been there. And I still have an open job offer whenever I'm ready to go to it, right? And it's just like, I feel like sometimes people just look at it as like just being a dancer, but it's like, no, this is a space that you're constantly meeting all these different types of people. Learn to have good verbiage. Learn to be educated. Read a book. You know, like touch up on things. Like get yourself to a point where you sound smart, and you are smart. So when you do meet the right person, you can get somebody who is willing to not either mentor you, invest in you, teach you something new, so that you're leaving out here, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, you're going to leave here with something other than just physical money. You want to be able to leave with connections. You want to be able to leave with something that's going to allow you to build more capital, and hopefully can even be passive capital. That's true. Right? And the last thing is, when I look good as fuck, because I feel like it builds my confidence so much, because I know that I get paid for my looks. So I know that investing in it is going to make me more money, but also it just makes me feel good. Like it makes me feel good to do my makeup, to do my hair. And then I'm like, oh wow, okay, look at you. And then I have my outfit on, you know, and I feel sexy, and I'm putting things on that compliment my body. Sometimes girls are wearing outfits that don't compliment their body.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you have to think about that people don't really.
And like you can't look looking messy. And you're gonna I've seen a girl had a whole tantrum in the back, like crying her eyes out, like, it's not my fault that I look like this. And then I'm looking at her and I'm going in my head, like, but no offense, when I look at you, it doesn't look like you're trying.
Right.
It just looks like you just came to work, no makeup, your hair looks plain, your outfit is boring, no disrespect. But it's like, if I can notice that as a fellow dancer, customers can see that. So they're not, if no disrespect, but it's almost like, they can tell when a girl puts in work and when a girl doesn't. So definitely. If you are a girl who doesn't put in work and you're trying to charge somebody $700, they're gonna look at you and be like, I'll do 3, because no offense, you don't look worth it to them. Sometimes no offense.
They'll just pass.
That's just what it is. Just what it is. Sometimes you can get a person who doesn't care what you look like, and they're gonna spend the money regardless. But majority of the time, if you put in that extra work, you can charge a person whatever, because you look expensive.
That's true. I would say, I said this other day to the DJ. I was like, this is like the first time in so long that he had actual like fine ass black women working here at the club, like, and everybody looked like money. Yeah. Like, there's no like, oh, this one a little, no, not that one, but this one's good. No, everybody, like all the black women there was like, damn, everybody's on point. Like before, we had maybe like 1 or 2. It was like it was scarce a few years ago when it came to black women in there. Like, especially if you have to wear your own hair and shit too. Like, it was so many different things that people had. You got to be like this and this and that.
That's the only thing that is unfortunate. I feel like the only thing that I do see in a lot of these clubs is like the black women are kind of like conforming. Yeah. Like, yeah, they're black and they're beautiful and all that, but like most of the time you see them with like straight hair or like a wig or something, because the natural hair just doesn't go. And not even just like with the managers and stuff, but just like the customers. Like, I wore it was a wig, but it was like a whole afro, because I have an afro naturally, but I wanted to see how it did before I actually let my hair out. and I ended up losing my regular. The guy who came in there specifically for me, he didn't like how my hair looked, so he's like, I'm not doing anything today.
So there was a girl that was there. She's not there now. She gorgeous black woman, whatever. She had her hair in the puffs and stuff.
Yeah.
Had it all. It looked nice. Everybody like, oh, okay, she's gorgeous. The next day she had to put a wig on because they didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like it
really,
was.
I don't even want to say like it's racism. It is, but like they still have the black girls there, so like I guess it's not racism, but it's just like texturism, colorism.
But there was more. I would say it was less girls at the time too, less black women at the time. So I feel like now at this current stage,
gotten way too much hate because the white guys love us.
Yeah. I mean, it's way more girls, way more black women now. I mean, what I think. The other night.
I mean, the only thing I will say though is that at the end of the day, where we work at specifically, it does seem like the girls that are making like the most money are palm colored people.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they're doing extra stuff or whatever to get their
money.
money.
Do you feel like you have to work harder?
Will see. Do I feel like I have to work harder?
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like I have to act a certain way. To not conform into. I think it's a lot different for someone like me too, because I'm not dark skinned either. Right. So I'm kind of like in the middle, to where like
until you show your hair, like
yeah,
you one of them.
Like she's black. So that's why I wear my hair the way I do most of the time, just to like be more like in that middle thing.
Right. They don't know what you are.
I get, like a lot of guys that just like me because I'm like right in the middle.
Right.
Like,
right.
You could think I'm like white and black or like white and Asian, and like. I try to be like really, really nice too, because I feel like the only girls that do get to be like bitchy or whatever have like a stank face are the people that are lighter skinned, because they just think like, oh, they're submissive.
Yeah, they can kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
I used to think that with some of the girls that used to work, and I'm like, I feel weird now saying it out loud. Like oh, yeah, you better quiet now. You better be quiet. You better not. You can't say that outside. You can't say you not like that one. You gonna get fired. Don't do that. The master about to come get you. You know, I hate to be that, but that's almost what it was like. Because it's like, okay, this girl can say this because she looked this way, she makes this type of money, whatever with them. Even though you're beautiful, but you're just at that level. So you're more liable to get fired right off the bat than that one doing the same exact thing. And it has happened too. I've seen it happen.
I've seen like one girl like not come in, like be late all the time, and you know she's more lighter skinned and stuff. You know, black girl do it like once, and it's like, oh, you're done, or you gotta pay us this much, like da da da. Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, like, I mean, it has its pros and cons to all that because I see back and forth sometimes. But it's just like I've noticed that over the years.
I say really old school.
But I see it like I feel like it's calmed down a lot more now.
Yeah, like they definitely have more diversity. There's a lot more black women there.
Yeah.
I showed my hair to like the owner.
Yeah.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like they're coming more to terms like with what's going on, because it's like it's really old school to have that mindset. Like everyone likes what they like. I feel like a lot more white guys are like definitely now in today's day like are able to express their love for black women.
Mm-hmm.
Not as much as they could like in the 80s or the fucking 70s or something like.
Right.
So it is different in that aspect, and I feel like they're trying to catch on, but at the end of the day, like there's still like majority black women. Like you'll see them with like straight hair or like wigs, or like if they do have their hair out, it's like tied up or something. Like it's just not. We're not able to be like completely free. But
what do you think, Mocha? Being a little darker, a little chocolate-er.
Being a chocolate woman with the name Mocha.
Remember when that dude wanted to call you Coco?
Yeah. So I like a lot of the times I'll be like, two things I get a lot is when I'm like, hi, like I'm Mocha, nice to meet you. They'll be like, yeah, you are. Or I'll get, hi, I'm Mocha. And if I'm going to somebody who's lighter skinned, and I'm like, hi, I'm Mocha. And they go, oh, well, I'm vanilla. Right. So it's like, it's always just so interesting to me. But again, too, like I've lived in 3 countries, right? So Canada being one of them, like I'm not necessarily like, I've been around a lot of white people. You know what I mean? I grew up in the suburbs when I lived in Canada and stuff like that. And I mean, I did face a little bit of racism, but I feel like it wasn't like America compared to Canada. Like America's very segregated.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when I came out here and I was dancing and everything, I realized more how people were just like, people just made like, we know it's a thing, but it's like where I grew up, like we know it's a thing, but it's like, it's not as like, I feel like it wasn't like as the talk of the town as much all the time. Like it was more discreet, but it's like, which I guess being discreet is kind of like, you don't want it that way. You rather have it, yeah. But like here, it's like very much in your face. So I feel like I do get a lot of comments about like, you know, just me and just like, I've never had a black girl before, or like, I don't typically like black women, but you're very beautiful for a black woman. I get a lot of things about my race, or I'll meet the guys who are like, oh, I only like black women, and like, I think you're so beautiful, and and da 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 da, and like whatever, right? So it's like, I feel like for me, like race is almost always a conversation. It's like, I feel like 90% of my conversations with customers always end up in something of like yeah, you are, I'm vanilla, you're beautiful for a chocolate woman, this and that and the third, where it's like they could be Asian, Mexican, white, whatever, and I never bring up their race. You know what I mean? I never bring up their race. I'm just trying to learn about their character. And so it's like, that's where I noticed that it is a big thing, you know, and also to add to what she's saying, like there has been times where it's like, no disrespect to nobody, but like there are girls who get away with a lot of shit, and I'm just kind of like, I don't think I could get away with that. And I've seen them get away with these things that I just kind of like don't necessarily agree with. And like, not only just that, there also will be times where, you know, there are girls who are, no offense to me, like I love women, I am bisexual, you know what I mean? Like I very much do love women. So I'm not hating when I say this, right. But there are some girls who are like very plain, boring looking to me personally. And they make a lot of money because, and I feel like sometimes it's just because they're white, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and I know somebody told me that one of the girls was saying to like, two white girls were talking, and like they were like, one of the girls overheard, and she was just like, yeah, like she was saying something about like how she was like worried about like making money or whatever, and the girl's response was like, girl, like they like white girls there, like you're fine, like you'll be fine, right? You're good. And so it's just like one of those things of like, like we're all very much aware of it, and like I hate when people act like it's not a thing, because it is. Because girl, like you came into work looking hella dusty and you still made a couple $1,000, no disrespect, and it's just like and if I go up to the person, and it's fine, like I'm okay. I know that at the end of the day, there's going to be people who find you attractive, and there's going to be people who don't find you attractive. But I do think that within the industry, even if you were to pull up at least like 4 different clubs, a lot of those clubs are going to have a lot more white girls or a lot more Spanish girls than they do black girls, almost all the time. Unless you're talking about Texas or you're talking about Atlanta, majority of the clubs, like in Connecticut, in New York, in Florida, and Miami, like a lot of those girls are Spanish and white, and those girls are the ones that are raking in the money. And for the black girls, like you gotta look like exceptional. I can't go to work looking like, thank God I take really good care of my skin, but I can't go to work and not put in effort the same way that some of these girls go into work, like, and not put in effort. And I've seen them, like some of them they smell a little funny, like some of them they don't come into work, they don't try, and they will still make their money. And I do think it's because like they are white, and you know, and you can come at me for that, but facts are facts.
I just feel like it's just a societal thing, like, you know, on TV and stuff, like all I really saw was like white guys and like white women too, so I just feel like it's ingrained. It's not more so like, obviously there's the guys that have always liked black girls or knew they like black girls, but I feel like even the guys that are like, oh, I don't like black women, go hand in hand with the guys that don't like black women, because you still have a hatred for someone just based off the color of their skin, right? And now you're just fetishizing something for your own gain, because it's like you're not even seeing me as a person, you're seeing me for my color, and you're like, oh, I have to like her because she's my type. And you know me, I could be a horrible person for all you know.
It's true. It's true. And I've seen the fetishization of everything, with, ooh, I like black girls, I want to try, I never had it before, or I never had Latino before, or I never had ratchet before.
Honestly, because we're all, people. We're all human. We're all souls. It's just like there's so much more to people than the color. And the one thing I'll always say too is like it's crazy because a white girl and a black girl can have like the same features, look exactly the same, but be just two different skin colors.
Yeah.
And that white girl will definitely do a lot more better.
Well, of course. Yeah. But and I've seen working and I'd be like, hold on, how many rooms this person got? Damn. Wait.
And sometimes
this person didn't get nothing?
doing, like extra stuff. And
yeah.
that's what gets them their money. And you know, you do you get their money.
But
I've
seen girls I've seen girls didn't have to do any of that extra stuff, but because of their skin tone, like saying, like they're getting all these rooms. Yeah. I'm like, but she's not even all that. To me, she's not. You know,
because it's even
like,
in our own community. Like, there's black guys that go there and they're like, I don't like black girls. I don't like Latina girls. I only like white girls.
I've seen some of those guys, the black dudes that show up like they only like white girls or only like Spanish girls. I've been like, that's all I like. It's an
infliction of self-hatred.
Yeah.
How did you grow up with a black mom and, you know, sisters and all that? Not to seem like weird or incestual or anything, but usually women want someone that's like their dad. If they had a good father figure around, they want someone that's like their dad. Just like guys, if they grow up with a good, beautiful mom, like they want someone that's like that because that's what they grew up around. That's what they saw. That's how they gain their sense of like what's beautiful and what's not. Yeah. So for you to have grown up with like a black mother and a black father and all that, and then still hate that so much that you only like a certain race, like it's just ridiculous. Or
I feel like sometimes they could like try to date the black girls when they were young, but they just got denied over and over, and they're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna date over here. Probably maybe it was easier to get the white girl or whatever, so that's like I'll have to go where I want it, and they just stick to that. But they just,
it was funny.
They negate everything, any black girls that even like might have a chance with them.
I seen this video one time. It was like, well, if the black girls ain't find you attractive, I definitely don't think the white girls is calling you handsome. Cause...
True. It's true. I mean, but then you guys, I feel like some of the guys that come to our job, it's just like they can't get it either way. So
yeah, it's like it's a really insecure environment for the guys. Because if you are getting it stuff, I feel like there's no reason you should be going there.
Yeah, especially on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you want to see ass and titties or whatever the hell. But if you're a guy that's actually getting sex and all that, you know, you're not viewing it as something like, oh, I need to pay for it. Like, I need to pay for a girl's attention. So if you're going in there, and I guess the one thing I do hate is like the guys that go in with this false sense of confidence and try to talk down on us, even though you're still here. Like, we're working. We're not here for fun.
Yeah, you come here every day.
You're here for fun and you're trying to talk down on me? Like, that sounds ridiculous. You sound delusional.
I don't know, for me, it's just I try to go out. Like I said, I try to be normal with normal people and try to do the normal things. Like go out and like, oh, I ever hang with the guys. And, okay, y'all go to strip club. We go to strip club. Cool.
Yeah.
After working at a strip club, it's like I don't see it. I don't see the point. Because it's like
desensitized.
I'm so desensitized. I'm like, all right, we get a lap dance. You don't even gotta talk to me. All right, let's just get the lap dance. You don't gotta say to me anything. Yeah, just do the lap dance. And then I'm doing the lap dance like I don't get it.
Well, I get it, like completely. Like, you know, it's a fine woman on you. Like this is cool.
But
it's in moderation. Yeah, I feel like the guys that go every day, like your eyes are just like with anything. Like once you if you have a regular job, like if you're working at a regular job, you've been there for a year or two. There's nothing that's exciting about it anymore. Like at the strip club, like even though it's a different day every day, you're seeing different people most of the time. There are people that go there every day. And then you get there's certain categories of people, and then you just group them in there, and then there's only so many categories.
I have the habit of going to a club or any place that looks like I work there now, because I get so desensitized just club atmosphere or whatever. I just end up somehow in the corner looking like I work there, and it just so happened I'm wearing black. It's like shit. I'm not every time every strip club I've gone to outside of our job just to see what it's like. I end up chilling with the bouncers. And it's like, you work here? Nah, not this club. You stuff. It just happens. So last question. Do you think after I was doing the strip club thing, having the fast money and stuff that we get to do, have all that stuff, can you go to a regular job again? Do you think you can go back?
No, not at all. For someone,
or do you be an entrepreneur?
It just depends I feel like it just has to do with age and like where you are in life. I feel like for my age group where I'm at, like there's no job that's gonna pay me this much money at all.
Yeah.
Even if I went to school right now, like I would have to be in school for a couple years, obviously, and then after that, get my experience, and then I would be making the big money. But at that point, I would already be in a different age bracket, so it's like I should be making that money because I'm this old.
Yeah.
But where I'm at right now, I don't feel like there's any job that could compensate for that, unless it's something like OnlyFans or like something that's like another different type of side hustle where I'm self-employed. But I don't think any entry-level job or there's no college or schooling I could do that would be done in like 1 year or less that would be giving me that much money either. So it would have to be like an entrepreneur thing or like a self-owned business of mine where I feel like I could make that much money, and then it's just a potential. It's not even guaranteed. Like, you know, like I feel like at the club, like, yeah, you're gonna have bad days or anything, but if you look good and you invest in yourself and you invest in your craft, you are gonna make money. And I also always felt like it, not that it doesn't matter what you look like, but as long as you're taking care of yourself and you actually like show that out there, you're gonna make some money either way.
Yeah, I see some girls like they only work out health wise when they're working on shift.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the only time they're keeping themselves like healthy.
I mean, it depends how much you're working, because I used to, like, before I started dancing, I was about like 200 pounds, and I went to the gym for like 3 months, and I was like, okay, I think I'm good enough. That's like after I had worked at Amazon and all that. I was like, okay, I think I'm good enough.
So you did the 3 months. So you basically trained for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it came to me.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And then now that I work like 4 or 5 days a week, I'm like, do I really need to go to the gym? I'm doing this thing. I'm working like 10 hours sometimes, 7 hours for the most part. Yeah. And it's just like, you know, we're getting exercise then.
You're on your feet.
Lap dances. We're wearing those big heels too. So it's like I'm getting the exercise I need to. If anything, I would go to the gym more so like to tone myself. Yeah. And, like build different things instead of like actually losing the weight, because I feel like I'm losing the weight at the club.
So I like that you had a plan before you even got to the club.
Yeah, that was kind of the.
That's kind of dope.
I should have went to like a pole dancing class or something.
But I mean, still though, you could have went had pole dance like classes and still be not the shape that you want to be too. Right. Like, you know, so they were like, oh no, you gotta come back in 3 months. You know. Yeah. So you did that. You took the opportunity to get yourself in shape before, so you have no type of like negative response.
Yeah, because I also had to like be confident in myself, and when I was at that weight and stuff, like I was really insecure. And I feel like I'm battling a lot of stuff even still now, because I'm still kind of stuck in that mentality where I was that way.
Body dysmorphia is a shit.
It definitely is. And it's just like, you know, you're seeing so many different women too, and comparison is like the devil, literally. Like,
yes.
And
comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
That is very true.
The way I see it now is just like, I see it like I'm going into Walmart and picking out a Barbie. And I don't compare the white Barbie to the black Barbie. Right. At all. It's just 2 different Barbies. Yeah. So it's like at the club, like I feel like some people, like I've gotten questioned like, oh, who do you think is the baddest girl in here? And it's like, there's no baddest girl. There's no number one. It's more like a tier list, like tier A, tier B, tier C. Like that's more what it's like.
Like I get customers like, who's the baddest one here? I'm like, what do you like? What are you into?
Right, because it depends on your sense of bad.
Yeah, like you might feel like a mocha today. You might feel like you want to be with KORA today. Like, how do you feel? Like, you know,
to me, the baddest girl could be this girl, and then you look at her and it's like, that's not my type at all.
Yeah, everybody has their own thing. So I like, and plus I was like, oh, maybe. By me looking at them, like I know you ain't like, hold up. I don't want to have to grab KORA, grab you, bring mocha, and like, hey, what do you want? They're like, nah. Then I just wasted y'all time. Y'all could have been talking to some customer or whatever. I don't pulled y'all thinking he might like one of y'all. Bro, tell me what you like. What are you into? Like, you like white, black, mixed, what, like Latino, what? You know, dolphins, what the fuck you want?
Yeah. It depends what you like, because there's so many different girls in here. It's like brats and Barbies. Like, you don't compare them, they just look different.
You want a little bit of ratchet, or you want sophisticated? You want somebody that knows how to speak English, or do you want somebody that knows?
Russian girl.
Yeah, you know what you want. Like, what you want? Do you want to have to like think about what she's talking about the whole time, or you just want easy conversation? Right. Just like, you know,
a lot of things that go into it.
It's a lot.
Like, it's just a crazy environment to be in overall.
Yeah.
Like every aspect of it is just crazy. But you definitely gotta have like tough skin, be confident in yourself, and those are the 2 things I feel like you just gotta walk in there with: confidence and self-worth.
Well, true. I agree. Mocha, you got anything to add to that?
What was the question?
What was that? Did I say about you think you could work a regular job?
I personally would. I don't think I'd be able to work like a minimum wage 9 to 5 type job. Like if I were to be doing something like that, I think it would have to be like the type of jobs that I see are more related to kind of like passive income, related to investments, related to like things like real estate, like related to more business. Like that's where my mind is at right now, is more the business route of things, and how can I maximize the amount of money that I'm making, but also when I'm meeting people, how can I learn the most amount of information from those people, and how can I create a network that will allow me to establish more for myself, right? So it's like right now I'm just really just like networking, and I want to go more within the business aspect. That's the closest to a regular job I'll ever get, because I feel like my favorite saying is once the mind has expanded, it can never go back to the way it was before, right? So it's like, it's the same thing with like money theory as well. Like if you are in a situation where you always have to be frugal, you'll grow up to always being that way, right? But then if you get to a point where you are making money to a point where you don't even know what to do with this money, it changes your money mindset, and it changes how you move, right? So it's like you want to get to a point where you're putting yourself in a situation where you're maximizing, where you're taking that information, you're doing something with it, you're taking that money, you're doing something with it, you're building off of it. And yeah, like I've made a good amount of money, and so I want to continuously. It's funny because when I first started, I was like, I can't wait to make $300 in a day. I can't wait to make $300 in a day. And then when I got my first room, I was like, oh, yay! And then and then
it seems so easy.
And then it just gets easier, and then you learn your own body, you learn your own sex appeal. Like that's another thing too that I love about it, is that it teaches me a lot about sex appeal. It teaches me a lot about people and how to navigate that individual person, and like what that person may like, and just how to turn them on, and like little things like that. How do you work with that person? Because everyone's gonna want something different. You know what I mean? So with that, it's just like you learning how to navigate those different things and do different things with different people. You make more money. It changes how you look at money, and you can get yourself to a place where you're able to maximize that income. And as you're there, network so that by the time like you leave, like I said, you can use those networks, you can use those people to get you jobs. And also when you're there, have intelligent conversations, because you might get a job offer. I've already gotten 4, right? And so the reason I didn't really take any of them is because one of them, I'm like, okay, that's going to be my backup. And the other 3 were regular jobs. And I'm like, that I don't want to be in a shop like all day making like $20 an hour, like, because I can make $500 in 30 minutes, right? And so, yeah, I could never do a regular job. But I think my advice to any dancer is make sure that you leave with something, and always try to network, and always try to be more than a dancer. It's great to be sexual. It's great to have sex appeal, but it's also good to also show your intellect sometimes, because those intellectual conversations will definitely get you somewhere, because it's gotten me somewhere. Like I have a guy right now who likes me, and he knows I don't feel the same way about him, but he's just like, I just love listening to you speak, right? And like, it's okay to show that you're smart, but I think sometimes in an environment, women feel like, I can't show that I'm smart, because then if I show that I'm smart, then he's not going to think I'm sexy, or he's going to think I'm talking too much, and whatever. But it's like, no, show that sometimes, and show it to the right person.
Not you make the most money just being yourself.
Yes, you do.
And when you are a good person,
and don't be envious. Don't be envious of what other girls are making. I've never understood that. If anything, I look at what I've literally messaged other girls who I've known who make a lot of money, being like, I respect you so much. Like, any advice that you have for me? I remember I used to do that so much when I was a baby dancer, like, and a lot of the OGs, and I had so much respect for them, and I still do. They put me on to so much game, and I think that's why, like, I try anytime I meet somebody new, anytime somebody's starting, like, I put them onto game, because it's like, it's not gonna take away from my money, because I know how to work, I just had respect for like the wrong OGs when I was there, because if you've been there for like 10 years, like, I don't really think there's anything. Like, why would I listen to you? Well, there is some OGs that, like, for an example, Skylar is an OG that you want to actually talk to. Skylar is one of those girls who actually is she's very, very smart. And it's just like, you will know who you should and should not take advice from based off of the way that they speak and based off of the way that they can hold a conversation.
But I also feel like it's an environment where it's like people could only lead you to water. Like all the information is just like you, like them leading you, giving you a couple more steps, but you really got to be able to like take it and embody it. And I also feel like the best and worst thing about the job is the money, because it's just so addictive.
It is.
It's like the most addictive part about it. Like people think we're just there like for attention, or like don't get me wrong, there are some girls that like being like little whores or whatever the fuck you do, but like the money is just so addictive.
When I make it, I'm like, I get a high. It's almost like an adrenaline rush, and when I spend it, I can't wait to go back and make it.
But
like,
I mean,
so
I feel
crazy.
the same way, and I'm just the floor guy, you know, because if I get, we had the
if you was a girl, would you do it?
Hell yeah!
I know you would.
I say this shit all the time.
I know
Like,
you guys would be on the stage twerking and shit,
I'll be killing it. I say this shit all the time. Let me get in there.
It's just the guys that do like us and stuff. Some of them, they get jealous sometimes. They get envious because it's like, I guess like the male version of what we do would be like a drug dealer, but then it's like 10 times.
No, male version of what you do is a guy that dances too.
Well, they don't. I don't. There is male strippers, but like they're making their money or whatever. But it's just a whole different world at the same time. Like it's gay guys up in there. Like
I guess so.
They do. There are male strippers who make a great amount of money.
What
I will
like
say though is that there has been a bigger market for women than there is for men.
It's a niche area.
They still do make a lot of money.
But if I had a chance, as I always said, if I was a girl, I'd kill all y'all niggas. I'd destroy y'all. I'll be taking all y'all customers. I'll take all y'all customers. Yeah. Split up inside down. Like, I'm going to drop it to the floor like that little, you know, I'm like, all that, shaking my leg up in the seat. I'm going to do all that shit. I watch all y'all. I'm like, I'm taking all that shit. I'm taking all y'all moves. Y'all be the best dancer. Like, yo, I don't know. She ain't ready. Yo, moonwalk that bitch. I be moonwalking. Shit. But you know what? But that's besides the point. I'm not that person right now. Maybe in another life, I might be. But I'd like to thank y'all for coming by and sharing y'all stories. And it was great. Got to do it again because there's so much more you can talk about. But yeah, this is Mocha and KORA. This is the BearatNight podcast. Remember, bear it all, be yourself. This is Parker, and I'm out. Peace.
Listening to BearatNight Podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.